brake sisters and defusers, and I'm doing this video because apparently some very, I would say, unbalanced people, emotionally unbalanced, psychologically unbalanced, they were, how should we say, roused by my comments about organizing, the people that focus on the I. You know, it's all about what they can get, what they can obtain, what they can make for themselves, as opposed to using you, not using, but you, as organ you sing, which is what you can do for others. First of all, it's pretty creepy that somebody would actually follow us into the community. You know, I only have a few subscribers, and I mean, if that's the kind of person that would, you know, confront us in the community or make a comment in our presence, might as well unsubscribe. You know, that's stalking behavior. And over, you know, such, you know, statements that in the span of a life and of the importance of the issues people deal with day to day, to somebody to make it, you know, part of their day, I think that's crazy. People were offended, and people felt that, what was it when somebody said, the Obamas are personal friends of my family, and I find that, what was it, affronting? Something, I mean, I heard some of it, but there was cars and stuff around, and, you know, first of all, why would the Obamas care about my YouTube channel or my statement? Second of all, it's nothing to do with them. These are people that used, you know, organizing to benefit the community. That's why one of them landed the White House. You know, this has nothing to do with the type of people I'm talking about who are organizing against veterans. You know, finding any possible way they can to cause harm to veterans and their families. And it's becoming a pattern in certain parts of Michigan. Like I've said in many of my videos, I can't put all the puzzles or the pieces together, but it's pretty obvious that people are organizing against veterans. Specifically, certain groups of veterans. But now other veterans seem to be benefiting. And these are veterans, you know, that don't have much wrong with them. You know, especially service-related. But they seem to be benefiting. And that's what I said. I don't know the exact puzzles, you know, of what the criteria are. I guess you'd say that I don't know the pieces of the algorithm to what's benefiting certain veterans, whereas many others are being alienated, even abused. But I know what I've seen and what we've observed the past 8 years, especially the past 3, being the most egregious things that I've seen done to veterans. Actually, I'd say the past 3.5. But, you know, it has nothing to do with the Obama family, and I'm sure they have a lot more to worry about in their life, you know, their daily life, their daily issues they have to deal with, especially the cost of living around D.C., Chicago, or the Vineyard, compared to worrying about my comments, which they didn't even figure into the conversation, okay? And as I said before, first thing, creepy to publicly, you know, have to follow somebody around. Oh, and second of all, to come into some of my neighbors, who obviously must be subscribers, the more troublesome, aggressive, disruptive, targeting, definitely stalking behavior neighbors. Speaking of about a handful of people, not all my neighbors, but about a handful, yes, very bad people, about a handful. Somebody seems to be bringing them into the complex, just like everywhere else we've lived for the past 8 years. But anyway, coming into our complex to, what, shake me, rattle me, intimidate me, scare me, it's not going to happen. And 3, to target somebody over their YouTube channel, showing evidently how some know how to track and stalk people. I do too, but I choose not to use that because it's stalking behavior. Generally I'm known to, if somebody follows us on the bus more than once or twice a week, I'll note it, and I may even inform people, whether, directly or indirectly, inform people what's going on. So, this concerning behavior. And my comment about everybody wanting to be an organizer is that, as I said before, people turn it into something that what can they gain, what can they change, how can they gain power over others, instead of empowering others. Now, I'm somebody that I'm done with politics, but I am a libertarian. And, both parties have let me down, so I choose to go with the one that focuses on protecting what's mine, my liberties, my family, my country, my faith, my constitutional rights. So, what I've seen this is addressing the partyism somebody's trying to bring into a statement that had nothing to do with politics. I would say the Obamas have brought a lot to this country, especially former President Obama, brought a lot of great things, brought justice to the dinner table, to the daily conversation, which is needed. Our narrative about social justice, we've forgotten it, or we've racialized it, or we've genderized it, or sexualized it, as opposed to it being just a common thread within everything we do. Are we going to be just people? Or are we going to be an unjust people? That's what former President Obama brought to the national conversation. Now, what I'll bring to or not what I'll bring, but what I'll discuss that President Trump brings to the table is that not backing down, the fact to address people directly who want to go after his family or him, and the fact that being a survivor means sometimes you got to fight back. That's why I made this video. It's not about politics. It's about right and wrong. And it's about people who are selfish and using something that's supposed to be designed to benefit the community, to benefit themselves, and their abusive tendencies.